Hey folks, stick around. Indy News number 91 is coming up, and in it we have stories on Archie Comics is making a foray into online comics with the Red Circle line. Also, we've got stories on over at Dark Horse. Darth Vader has a ghost prison, which he's going to take you on tours through. Conan has got a new title coming up with a new creative team, Brian Wood and Becky Cloonan. Boom is going to betray the Planet of the Apes, and Silver Star and Captain Victory are running roughshod over at Dynamite. All that and more coming right up.
When Indie comic news calls, Bone Comic Book Man come running. I mean, if they could run, they would.
Just think, if you lost all power, comics would be your number one source for entertainment. Independent Comic Book News, episode 91. Meet the cons.
Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time for
Indy News.
Indy News. And Indy News is coming to you from right here, Alternate Reality, which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality are all new comic books, including all my indie comics, all my Image comics, all my Dark Horse comics, all my Boom comics. All my indie comics are always 15% off every day for everyone. First up, we've got a story on Archie, which is an indie comic.
It is?
Yes, it is. They're relaunching the Red Circle line. Oh, everybody, don't all jump up and down at once. They're releasing the Red Circle line, which was last seen over at DC, to huge success.
No, it wasn't.
They killed it, I think, after 6 issues.
Yeah, the Mighty Crusaders thing, which nobody bought, and people said we don't care.
But it's coming back.
But not on the Rex.
Not on the Rex.
It'll be coming back in 2012 as a digital subscription comic book app.
This is what's known as an experiment.
Right. We're going to see a weekly new Crusader story from the team of
Easy for
Ian
you to say.
Flynn and Ben Bates, who do, I think they do Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, you'll pay in for it, and you can read the stories digitally online, which means that it'll appeal only to people who give a crap about the characters, which actually might make this a successful experiment.
Well, if everybody who bought the original Red Circle titles at DC bought these through Archie, it'd still probably be a big waste of time.
Yeah, and part of the thing is you'll be able to pick up the stories from the 60s and stuff as well. So. And all their Impact. Remember Impact?
Impact. Oh, God, yes, Impact.
All that stuff will be available on the
Does this
subscription.
digital one do anything special? When you get emotion or
I don't know.
sound effects? Something
I'm
like
assuming
that?
you'll get something
Probably
specific.
just
Something
get
spectacular.
Still,
Something amazing!
Yeah, they'll slide panels around. It'll be
slide
about that
panels.
amazing.
meanwhile,
Meanwhile, over at Dark Horse, Star Wars, which is like the huge franchise over there, the big franchise over there. Star Wars has got two.
Well, two, but we're only going to talk about one. There's another one that we can throw in there because they announced it just about an hour and a half ago.
Well, 2 books. And what are they?
Well, Hayden Black is going to be doing a limited series called Star Wars Darth Vader in the Ghost Prison, which will tell of one of the earliest attempts to assassinate the Emperor. And John Ostrander and John Dersmer are also doing another Star Wars limited series. The name escapes me at that point, but it'll be in the same vein as their other stuff, the same type characters in whatever corner of the Star Wars universe that Ostrander hangs out in.
Why would anyone ever want to assassinate the Emperor? He seemed like such a nice guy.
He's a jerk. He's a jerk.
Really?
Yes.
I hadn't noticed.
you guys laugh a lot alike. Come with Ben the Emperor.
Young Skywalker.
Now you die.
That, he didn't so much moisturizer. There was no moisturizer left in the rest of the universe.
Yeah, well, that's a big problem. Also over at Dark Horse, another big money-making franchise they have is, of course, Robert E. Howard's Conan. And there's some stuff coming up at Conan.
The new team on the brand new #1 Conan book will be Brian Wood and Becky Cloonan.
Just left DC.
Who just left DC. So Brian Wood and Cloonan do it. I think it'll be the first time that a female artist has been the regular artist on a Conan title.
Oh, you get to watch a chick draw those pecs.
And a big bulge now.
And that
and
big
now
bulge.
Always
Yes.
got the big bulge.
Oh, she'll give him a little bulge because it's a girl and she'll think it's funny.
It's time for me to emasculate Mr. Conan.
But they're working on that. They also have this. They have a project called The Massive, which will be popping up for 3 issues in Dark Horse Presents. Sometime next year, they'll also be doing an ongoing regular series of that. So Wood and Cloonan have gotten a lot of work over at Dark Horse. They're hanging out. So that DC,
Yes.
DH. So he just basically changed the second letter.
You just changed the second letter.
How'd that Conan movie do?
Horribly.
Sucked. Maybe because it sucked.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh, was that the reason?
It was very bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Very, very bad.
It was pretty bad. Boom! Boom Comics does Planet of the Apes. They brought the Planet of the Apes franchise back from the dead, and they're doing Betrayal on the Planet of the Apes, which is something they haven't done yet. We've escaped, and we've conquered, and we've returned, and now we're betraying.
We're betraying it. And it's actually set in the continuity of the first film, the film with Charlton Heston.
Yes,
Not
Taylor.
the new one.
Taylor.
It'll be done by, it's a 4-issue limited series done by Gabriel Hardman and Karina Sarah Becco, who happen to be husband and wife.
Oh, okay.
And Hardman's done a lot of work over at Marvel.
Okay. Finally, last story we've got is over at Dynamite. Dynamite is, of course, doing Kirbyverse, or
Kirby Genesis.
Kirby Genesis, which is the Kirbyverse of characters that Jack did after he left Marvel. You got Captain Victory, and you're going to have...
well, the Captain Victory book is going to be... I think it ships this month. Is its first issue shipped yet?
Not yet.
It's coming out this month. It's written by Sterling Gates for Dynamite. But after that, you're going to have Jay Nitz and Johnny D. Yes, that's his real name, Johnny D. He's going to be doing a silver... They're going to be doing a Silver Star series. Which will be the
Pick that right up. Man, you picked
the
that right up.
companion to Captain Victory. You know, the Captain Victory book will show up first, and you'll see Silver Star, and I think they also sell some other goofy stuff. But so they're assuming is Kirby selling that well?
What?
Is a limited series Kirby is it selling that
I
well?
was telling someone else the other day, you know that Kirby Universe book that they've done?
Yeah.
That book is selling better than any of the Kirby stuff originally did when it first came out.
Well, then-
I was running, back when Captain Victory first came out from Pacific, I was running Comic Emporium on Western and 107th or 109th here in Chicago. And we got all that stuff in. We got Captain Victory, and then later we got Silver Star, along with Ms. Tree and all the other stuff Pacific did, Rocketeer. But that Captain Victory stuff, you know, first issue came out, and you know, it was a lot of anticipation. It's Jack Kirby's first work away from Marvel, away from DC. It's independent. The mind of Jack Kirby will be able to spread out throughout comics now, and finally he'll be unfettered. And it just laid there like a big turd. Nobody bought that thing, you know. And it struggled on for 8 to 12 issues, I think. And then Silver Star came out about halfway through Captain Victory's run, and it ran for 5 to 6 issues. And all that stuff is much more fondly looked upon by fans than any fans ever supported it in the first place when it first shipped. But now the Kirbyverse stuff is actually selling quite well compared to how those sold back then. So go figure. My attitude towards that has always been Kirby was a great idea man. Kirby, of course, in his prime was a great artist. Mike Royer never helped Kirby's inks out at all. Kirby should never have been allowed to actually script any stories after about 75 or 76. But the ideas are solid. The ideas are all solid in those books. And it's nice to see somebody take those and run with them and actually make something of them. DC has been making hay out of the Fourth World now ever since 1970. And because there's nothing wrong with those concepts. It's just if you can get a hold of them and work them right, you know, they're all really good concepts to work. And the post-DC Marvel stuff is too, which Dynamite is starting to prove.
I think at the time it would have been pretty hard to tell Jack Kirby no. You can't do stuff.
Well, DC and Marvel both managed to. DC fired him, and then he went over to Marvel. Then Marvel fired him, and then he had no place to go. And Pacific said, hey, we're a young startup. Come on over here and do whatever you want. And that's where Captain Victor and Silver Star came from, and sales killed them. The ultimate arbitrator for all these things, whether they're good or bad, are sales.
If they jump their ass.
You walk out the door
buy 'em.
and put money down and buy them. And if you don't, I don't care who's drawing it and who's writing it.
They
it's
just
gone.
stack up in the back.
It's just stacked up in the back, and folks like me stop ordering them, and then they go to Jack, nobody's ordering your book. And he says, well, okay. And that's it. And that's it. We're done. We're finished. We're out of here. We've got no more indie news, but you can go to the store's website. Check out all of the news that Bo sends me that I post up. Bo.
Yes. Yes.
He'll answer any direct question.
Yes.
He'll answer any direct question you ask him.
Yes.
Where is the store's website?
It's on the web.
I bet you.
Oh, well, there you go.
I bet he doesn't know.
It's on the web.
I bet he tells you Sarah knows.
I have it bookmarked. Why don't you?
And here it is, the lovely website, www.maraltonetradio.com.
Cool.
Hey, go to the store's website and check out all the news.
Comic Book Man, it's all in the editing, baby. It doesn't matter. You go on forever.
Till next time,
I go on
this
forever.
is Comic Book Man.
This is Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs saying
You're not dead.
thank you for killing the comic book industry. Bye.
Before you.
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.